Hello, everyone. Welcome to the awesome day of FileMaker Training. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of FMTrain.tv, where every day at this time slot, Monday through Friday, we are learning about the Claris FileMaker platform. The FileMaker platform, most of you already know this, is an awesome tool, a set of tools that allow you to build great solutions that really propel your organization forward, improve efficiency with your organization. Maybe, okay, this is not a marketing approved vernacular. Maybe if you're not propelling your organization forward, you're helping your organization suck less, right? Could be, right? I'm not picking on anyone. There are places where if they sucked 20% less every 6 months, they would be very happy about that progression, because as you suck less, you're getting better, and eventually you become awesome, right? So if you keep removing the things that suck, you get to become awesome, right? With that in mind, one of the things that we use to suck less is the MonkeyBread plugin. It is awesome. Product of the year numerous times, the product of the year is the MonkeyBread plugin. Christian Schmitz is the brains behind the MonkeyBread plugin. He has a couple people in his organization that help him to get the word out. And to be honest with you, FileMaker is a great set of tools, but so let me show you. Okay, so this, everyone, I don't know if you can see this. This is my personal toolbox when we're working on helicopter, and it goes all the way down the floor. It's not a very big toolbox, right? And so what happens is the same as FileMaker. You get a toolbox, you're like, that's really great. And then you realize that there's other tools you don't have and you need more room. So you need a bigger toolbox. Well, FileMaker only has the one size fits all toolbox, just the way they are. It's like, here it is. You don't like it, suck it, right? And so what happens is there's companies out there that say, well, that's a really nice, I have to do it with a, how do you do it with a German accent? I have to give you some words to say. Christian say, he goes, that's a very nice toolbox, but there's missing so many. It's more like Nick in Columbia, more missing things. So how about I give you a double size or triple size toolbox with all the stuff you need to be successful, and it's only going to be $1.50 a month or something like that, $1.50 per user per month. If I could get tools for $1.50 a month, I would be stoked. That's what it is. So it gives you double, triple the tools, right? Basic toolbox is good. Then you realize that you're missing that weird screwdriver that's got a thingy on the thing, and then it allows you to get into a spot and wrench and do something. And without it, you're screwed. You can't. There's a couple tools we have to make for these helicopters. You can't buy them, and we have to have the tool in the toolbox. So that is how we got to Christian Schmitz. So Christian Schmitz is the creator behind the extra toolbox. He has won numerous awards from Claris as the most amazing toolbox guy on the planet. And he's been recognized as that. And so we're happy to have him on the show, because all I'm doing is bringing a guy in who's going to help everyone get a bigger toolbox and have your be better, right? And it's stupid and inexpensive. So sorry about that. There's your introduction. Yeah. Welcome.
Thank you for your kind words.
Well, kind of backhanded compliment. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's tools, you know. So.
Yeah, so let's start again with our advent calendar. Yesterday, we went through the first 9 entries. Let's see how many we...
Stop. These are blogs that he has written to discuss how to solve specific problems. We covered the first, what did you say, 9 yesterday? Yes.
9.
Okay, the first 9. So if you want to see these, you go to the MBS. How do we get to this webpage in general? How do we get to this? It's
I posted on the blog. Well, it's just mbsplugins.de.
Okay.
That's the website.
Okay.
So we are very thankful that Stephanie wrote all these articles. She wrote all the articles. It takes months to do. She starts in October, and it's a lot of work. So yesterday we talked about the weather data API, and I put in the API key so we can run the script, and we get here the icon and the temperature. Now I changed it to in the URL. Oh, in the URL. Is it there?
Okay.
To show the units in imperial, so you see them in Fahrenheit instead of Kelvin. Thanks to Ken for the note. And let's just change the address here to something different. Let's say San Jose. And let's run the script again. And yeah, you have clear sky.
That's pretty warm for this time of year too.
Yeah, I'd wish we would have this temperature here, so I wouldn't have to remove the snow from the street.
Actually, how cold is it there? I mean, it's a good
It's just
question.
moving up and down, about sometimes above the freezing, sometimes below the freezing. So snow is coming, snow is melting, and people are slipping.
Okay.
So you can do this with built-in FileMaker stuff or use our MBS plugin functions for this. Doesn't matter, but be sure that you have a lookup table to get the right icon for everything. And as you see here, we have the icons just as emojis. Just little pictures.
Okay.
So let's talk about a new door, and that's here number 10. You might remember yesterday we made a PDF as a form with all the wishes. And today we have the code to import the wishes into the database. So the user brings in a PDF file with fields filled in, and we load the PDF file, and then we use here the get field function to just go through the fields and ask for the value, which is the text content of the field. And we have a special field for the ID, so we can actually look up the record by the ID. And otherwise, we just read in all the fields. And if you have a lot of fields, it's a little bit work to go through and call it several times for each field. Or you make some kind of loop where you go through a field list and then put them in fields by name or into variables by name. Then you can use them in your code. And then also here, we have a little extension where we use a list dialog with a plugin to show the wishes and let us pick which wishes we want to honor and what we want to deliver. And so the list dialog is always very useful. We can show the script. So here's the script. Let's first make the template for the wish list. So now on it. Oh yeah. If you use DynaPDF, you always need to have the library. So when we download the plugin, we have the examples folder, DynaPDF, and there is DynaPDF dilib for Mac, and I just copy it to the desktop.
Margaret, this is directly applicable to what you're doing right now.
Yes, no, I'm paying very close attention.
Margaret,
you should,
Margaret, you should ask questions then. Margaret, you should ask questions then, right? So I have a question for Margaret.
Yeah.
And see if she's paying attention. Margaret, the Dyna PDF, that DYLIB, is
Yes.
that MonkeyBread? Is that MonkeyBread?
No.
Correct.
It is the library from DynaPDF that MonkeyBread calls.
Okay. So then hopefully he'll show us how we call it.
So the example here looks for this file in the same folder as the database. But if you just put it somewhere else, like in the same folder as the plugin, you can just pass here an empty string for the pass, and the plugin will look up will look for the file in the plugins folder, which is the easiest way nowadays to install it. Otherwise, the example here looks for the file in the same folder as the plugin. So let's just run this. And it made a wish list. Yeah, here is a file. I am thinking I'm missing the form field. Okay. So, okay, so we read the wish list and we show it. So, yeah, I think I may not have this file.
You making a mistake is valuable because then other people will make the mistake, and then you can explain how we fix it when we see the mistake.
Yeah, the mistake is that I'm missing a file.
Right. News to me. I didn't know we're missing a file.
Okay. Then we skip that and go to the next thing. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I don't have the template file.
You don't have the demo file? Is that what we don't have?
Yeah, the template file.
Oh, I thought you meant about installing the library. So yes.
Or just
when you get to the spot, you should once again emphasize how you install it and then how you register it, because when you buy MonkeyBread, you have a separate purchase. You can bundle them together where you get the library the purchase of the license for the library.
Oh, wait, I just make one. Wish
Okay.
list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Okay, great.
8. I mean, it's not that difficult.
Sure.
So, what do we need? Swap to page, yeah. Okay, looks like this. Save it. Export as PDF. Let's see. The file name expected wish list form form PDF. So sorry for not having the file, but now we made the wish list. So we have a fillable PDF file here, and we
Okay.
can just type something like banana.
Okay, so this is a form editable PDF, Margaret.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
Yeah, we can
extremely
put in
cool.
And so
some text.
here's an important thing, a hot tip about this. So a lot of people want to get data into FileMaker this way. You can, from my limited perspective, Christian, you feel free to, because this is a whole conversation. I just want to alert people to this possibility. You can write the data in here, close the PDF, save the changes, send the PDF to the person who requested that you fill it out. Send it
Yeah.
back to wherever it came from. Or you can actually have a button down at the bottom and on the PDF says submit or some stupid thing like that. And so it takes all this, turns it into a DAPI or a data API transaction and fires this out of the PDF it acts like a browser. It fires it across the internet to FileMaker server.
Yeah, we did that in an older live stream.
Oh, I'm
we have the
sure.
submit button,
We
button, which is
we
very useful.
repeat this because people forget about this. People absolutely forget about this. So yeah, okay, sorry.
So, okay, we have a wish list for some foods. And now let's go and import this wish list. So it's looking into the container field named wish list. Let's see. 50 wish list. I don't see this field here. Let's just drop it on the layout. Oh, there's one already. Okay, let's put ours in. So I now run the script. And oh, we are missing the field ID. Yeah, I didn't export it. Okay, let's just ignore this test and go through. And yeah, we get a list of the values, and it shows here in this dialog. And we can put check marks on the things we like to save.
Yep.
That's insanely cool because not only did you import it, but it allows you to select which ones you wanted from the input.
Yeah.
So whenever you need a picker dialog to pick something from a list, here this list dialog is very useful. We added checkboxes in the last year, so you can let the user check. You can also have a little search field hey, where's my autocompletion? Oh yeah, it's the wrong dialog. So So we need to show the filter. So it's probably shows filter. Okay. So run it again, and you see we have here the filter, so we can do searches. So if you need anywhere a little picker dialog where someone has to pick something, maybe data from a different table, you can use this dialog to have people pick something. You can have checkboxes or no checkboxes. You can preset them, whatever you like. You can customize how the buttons are labeled, what the text is on top.
That's
very cool.
Yeah, whenever you need a picker.
A question about the import Dyna PDF. If I want someone to send containers like images back in the PDF, can I also pull that from the PDF after if it's been re-imported?
Yeah. Yes, it's technically possible. You need to define a button, and then in the PDF application, you can load a picture into this button thing, where it's just an area on the screen where the image would go, and then we have a plugin function to ask for the field's image. So if it's a,
So it's not a field. They don't call it a field really in DynaPD or in PDF, Adobe PDF standard, right? You're saying it's a kind
oh,
of a button thing?
yeah, I think the type is button. Let me go to documentation and Dyna PDF. Let's search for, I think it was button. Ah, yeah, here, add button image. That's how you add it in code, where you can put in a button to a field. And I think we somewhere have a function to create a button, yeah. And I bet somewhere is a function to get the button image. But well, if you need that, we can check that. Or maybe make another live stream about that another date. Let's go to the next article. So after you got the wish list, we have the next one is here showing a map on your layout. And this is using Apple Maps, where we can use that if you're running the application on a Mac or with the FileMaker iOS SDK on an iPad or iPhone. And you can create the map on the layout. Usually we use a placeholder control. So here's this red box, which allows us to have a place on the layout which we can move around. And it gets a name here. So the plugin can ask FileMaker, where is this item on the layout, and then place the map exactly there.
Ooh.
So we have some address here. And so let's run the map example script, and we get a map. Yeah. So you see, we call here create with control to put the map there. We assemble the address into one big string and call the show address function, which then loads the address into the map. And as you see, this builds our point together. So we get this little monkey symbol here on the map, and it moves with the map. So you can put pins on the map. And if you like, you can provide your own image. So you have this graphic instead of a regular pin. So we have a few scripts here to change the map. For example, here is one to decide whether to show buildings. There's one for compass, traffic.
I had someone asking about this the other day. They were an archaeologist that needed to have maps of every place where they found something.
Yeah.
I imagine they'd use the pins for that.
Yeah, so there are different things. You can also render a map as a picture, which we once put in. So if you have a company doing real estate, they love to have maps showing where the building is.
Mm-hmm.
So we can not just put our icon on the map, we can also have it render a picture of the area around the building so people can actually see the satellite picture.
Ooh.
And of course, this is automated, so you can do it for 1,000 images a day and just script it.
Okay.
Should be fine.
So we can turn on off options here, point of interest, change the scale, show my location. So I would get the blue dot on the map, zoom controls. I should just turn on so we see the scale here, and I can zoom out.
Does the map redraw when you enter different address information, or is it?
No, the map doesn't care about it. The plugin puts the map control in front of the FileMaker layout, so FileMaker has no clue that there's anything.
Okay, time
Which
out. Let me
means-
ask. So
Yeah.
you're saying that the MonkeyBread things on the map are superimposed in a layer above it. They're not part of the same container.
Yeah, this is a control on top of what FileMaker draw. So let me just try and make a new record. So you see new record,
Okay.
and I can move between records. The map stays there because, well, I don't
Okay.
have any scripts in place to switch to a different location.
Okay. So you update it, but okay. So there's two things here. One, that the map is updated by script, everyone. If you want to change the data on screen and you want a map update, you have to trigger a script, which is either a button or a script trigger. Not a big deal. But the second part is if I want to output that map, because right now if I go to the container and I output it, is that map in a container right now? Is that what it's at, or is that just a spot on the screen?
Oh, yeah. You mean the place we put it?
Yeah.
That's just a rectangle.
Okay, so we
FileMaker.
designated a rectangular, got the coordinates. We said put the map on that. Then it puts the map on there, and so how do we smush it together and turn it into put it in a container or put it to the desktop or something?
So you would take a look on the documentation.
Yeah, we always read the docs, which is good, but
So where's the render function?
it's like flatten or combine.
There's a screenshot function to just give you the picture which you currently see.
Okay.
We can just put that in. Let me see.
Where would it put that at if it takes a screenshot?
Set field.
Oh, container field, right?
Yeah. Well, if it's an image and you want to see it, you have to put it in the container. I think this is a container field.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you're being a smart. That was a joke, or I just didn't get it. That was it, Margaret. Was that a German dry humor joke? Is that what that was?
So.
Okay,
No.
that's why you're laughing. I'm like, what the hell is she laughing at?
I have to recreate the map view.
Okay.
Now I have to call our save script, and I get the picture here.
Okay, everyone. So that I'm just these are the obvious questions that people are asking right now. I guarantee.
Yeah, because the follow-up question was, can we put in a container, which you just answered.
Thank you. Yeah, because what Christian does for a lot of you here is FileMaker, like a lot of times we see images on screen and the image is generally in a container, but Christian can superimpose stuff on top of FileMaker. It's like if I put a mask over my head or in front of my face, right? It's not in my face, it's on top, and maybe I don't even know it's there. It's invisibly, I can't see it. FileMaker can't really see the stuff that Christian is laying in front of it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's not in the container. So then we naturally say, well, if it's not in the container and it's superimposed floating above it, right? The user doesn't know that, but as developers, we know, well, we can't deal with that. How do we get it into a container so we can smash it as a single JPEG or PNG or something? And then once in the container, we could do stuff with it, right? So Christian does a lot of superimposed Hollywood kind of float on top stuff with his, nothing wrong with it, I'm saying, but it's a mindset for Margaret, for a pure FileMaker person, Margaret, we're talking about images that I think he's telling the operating system to glue the image on top of the FileMaker window in that coordinate space is what he's doing.
Yeah. And you should maybe have a layout trigger for going to the layout where you set up the map. And when you are leaving the layout, you should remove the map.
Oh, okay. So if you set the map, it's in RAM, it's hanging out in memory, right?
Yeah, well, it's on this window. FileMaker has no clue. So FileMaker.
Okay, do that. Demonstrate. This will help everyone understand what I've been talking about. Just do. No.
So I just moved a different layout and FileMaker just destroyed my map. The other thing is we had it before several times. Funny things can happen, like
okay, so it's there. But you're saying if you change another layout, FileMaker destroys it?
Yeah, FileMaker rebuilds its layout. And
so you're saying it redraws the screen. So
well, because then it loses the coordinates to put the map on top of. There's no coordinates anymore because FileMaker.
Yeah, you see this big drawing area where FileMaker draws the layout.
Yep.
FileMaker deletes the old control and makes a new one for the new layout. Yeah? And my view is linked as a sub view on FileMaker's view. So if FileMaker swaps out the layout view, my map is gone.
Okay, so so we can scroll up or down, correct? So if you're and so it's glued on the front like lipstick on a pig, I guess, if you want to call it that. It's lipstick, right? And as long as we stay on this layout, so we flip records, that doesn't destroy it. But if you flip another record, so but having, what about window refresh? Does window refresh butcher it up? If you run the script step window refresh.
Let me just try. This is a different layout.
Okay.
No, it doesn't have it here. So the question is whether
if I run a single script step says window refresh.
I can, oh yeah, I can just, window, refresh,
Yeah, it's just it's the biggest refresh we can do. It's the most expensive in terms of performance. Now run that script. What happens?
nothing.
Nothing.
So,
So it's refreshing the data. It's not
yeah,
refreshing. So if it redraws the layout, Margaret, it blows up Christian's lipstick,
yeah.
right? You
So,
follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
depending on, I think in older FileMaker version, this was constructed a little bit differently. And then the map would stay if you go to the browse mode. And it would
Uh,
look funny because then in browse mode, it would be far to the left. So it would draw here over this bar.
yeah.
No. So when you can show it in a popover, you can show it in a card window, you can show it in a normal layout. But the best thing is always to have a trigger for when you close whatever you're showing it in, that you also close the map. So you don't
Okay.
get big memory usage by having hundreds of map controls in
Right,
memory.
Margaret? It's called a memory leak, but it's
Yeah.
your own fault because you're stupid. Right?
Yeah.
It's like we have a memory leak and you drill the hole in the bottom of your cup of Diet Coke and it's why is it dribbling out? Because you are stupid. So yeah.
It's not much memory. It's not a big thing.
Okay, we say that, and then Hot Air Balloon Ken's going to put 10,000 images through it, and it's going to blow his Mac up, and he'll come back and say, "Oh,
We have
Christian said it wasn't a
7.
big thing."
Let me just make a new map. Okay, so creating a map loads all these tiles, and so it takes about 100 megabytes per map.
Yeah. So then it
But
put
you get
1,000 of
the
those.
memory back if you close it.
Sure. If you
So,
remember to close it, everyone.
and this is a different example where we can render individual maps. So you can put in the type of map, whatever you like, and you can have some flags to show how it should show. And you can point to an address. So this is an API from Apple to take snapshots from the satellite from the map, which is different than taking a screenshot. Because the screenshot would show whatever currently is showing on the map.
Would you say this is not a screenshot? This is a what? A
Snapshot.
Snapshot. Well,
This is a snapshot of the map data from Apple.
okay.
As you see, it doesn't show here the user interface. It's just a picture.
Okay. So if you could increase, like, say you went up there and said, 1,500 by whatever, bigger resolution, would you get a higher? So if you export it, you'd get something, something, yeah. Okay.
So,
Uh,
and export it.
okay. Yeah. So,
That's
and
my-
you double
Oh, I have to where's my map? No, where is it? Oh, there it is. So,
yeah. So, then go to view, go up to view and go down there.
1500.
Yeah. If everyone will see that, just hit view up there in the top and then hit show actual size, which is that one. There you go, hit that. So you see it's much bigger, right, Margaret? So you can order up a larger image, shove it into a smaller spot. So it's high. We were talking about this with Big Valley Aviation yesterday and talking about your product, Christian Schmidt, behind your back. Because your toolbox is so awesome, I must have it here with me.
We have a question. Yesterday, you were able to send a contact to your iPhone. Can I send the map to my maps on my iPhone using the MBS plugin?
Yeah, with a map, you would need to make an URL, a map URL. Do I have anything for map URL? Good question.
Well, if he doesn't have it, he'll have it by Monday afternoon, so you don't have to worry.
Yeah, map links. Let's see. Okay, here's a developer page from Apple.
Yeah.
So you would have to build a maps URL, and in the URL you put all the information you want, like an address and the map type, whether you want satellite. And then you basically get here a map like this, an URL like this, and then when you open this URL on your iPhone, you should be able to have the Maps app open instead of the browser.
It's always yes. The trick is how much work do we have to do to make it happen? So it's the hard question.
Yeah, it seems to work. So let's put the URL I put the URL there. It asks me whether it should open maps, and then it calculates here the route. So you can build such URLs if you want. Nothing to do with the plugin.
Can you do multiple maps for the same record?
Sure.
You can have several of these things here. Yeah. Why not?
Once again, who's asking the question, I'm not picking on them, but just understand that he is generating a map to occupy. He's actually giving it, it's like, this is a little bit like that battleship game where you say B24, we have X and Y coordinates, and he's putting an image over an X and Y coordinate range on the layout is what he's doing. So how many images could you put?
Yeah.
Until the FileMaker falls over because it crashes, it has 5,000 maps on the layout, and then it blows
So
up.
now we have 2 maps here.
Right, that's what I'm saying, right? It's not, they're not, okay, back up everyone. So let me say this again. The maps are not attached to fields. They're not in a field. They're not a field. They're a holographic projection on top of the layout. Your users don't know that. But as a developer, you should understand that they're in a layer that floats above the FileMaker layout that generally you would never have access to, except the programmers at FileMaker, except Christian Schmitz here gives you access to that area. Does that make sense now? I hope. I'm not trying to confuse people, but it's an important concept because people say, well, how many fields can we put on the layout? It has nothing to do with fields. Nothing. It doesn't have to be a map. Christian could put any image over any spot on the layout.
We had an image view long before we had an overlay.
Hopefully I didn't blow people's brains up because Margaret's a little bit of an abstract content for the, I know Christian can get ready to keep going, but Photoshop has layers. Okay. Photoshop has layers. FileMaker has layers we can play with. There's an invisible layer above it that you never can play with. It's an invisible layer. And because we have MonkeyBread plugin, we can tell the plugin to put some in that layer and it appears on top of it. It's an invisible layer you never can get to except because of Christian Schmitz's awesomeness. Does that make more sense, Margaret? Right? Because you've done some Photoshop.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so next thing is about sending emails. You can, of course, use the built-in function in FileMaker to send an email, which is fine if you just send a few emails and you don't need a lot of things. So with a plugin, first we have here dialogues. So with a plugin, we can show a dialog from a calculation, so the dialog functions. So you can add buttons and make a dialog like this, if you want. Then you can ask the user a question like, do you really want to save this? Do you want to send the email? And because it's in a calculation, you can put it in any calculation you have. Like you can have a validation calculation which shows a dialog with a plugin. Gives you a ton of things you can do in FileMaker built-in. And for the sending of the email, you can use a plugin to send emails, just like with FileMaker, but you have a little bit more control, and you get an error log. Because we use the curl functions to send the emails. Yeah, and here we show you how to do this. So this is a very simple email. You have some plain text, we have a subject, we have someone to receive the email. From address, we have an SMTP login here, and we push that to a curl session and call perform. And after the perform, you can then check the debug log whether the server accepted the email. That's a different thing than if you send it by Claris as a built-in function, because a built-in function may tell you, okay, everything is fine, but the email never went out.
Correct.
Or it may tell you an error and the email did get out.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, I've seen that too.
So with the MBS plugin, you would get here from the perform, you would get OK back or an error message. And if you get back an OK, so the transfer worked, you would still get the debug log. And in the debug log, you would look on the last lines to see if the server replied to you that the email got queued, and then you have the ID where it was queued.
Yeah. Yeah, email is an unfortunate thing, and it's not really Claris's fault. I mean, I don't think they put much effort into it, but it's because of the way technology and email has gone. It's hard to have simple email. And we've been doing this now, email, since I used Apple Link in 1983, something like that. That's how far I've been using email. And it's largely the kind of the same as it's always been. The problem is bad people do hacky stuff to it, and they do fraud and crimes with it. And then we turn up the security, makes it harder to send email, but hard for them to cheat. It's harder for us to send out basic messages.
Next thing is sharing service,
okay,
which is a cool integration. As you may have seen, the share button in a lot of places. Let's see, does something happen? Yeah, here. Oh, I can send it to people, and I can pick your mail, messages, so I can share something with other users. I can use sharing for messages. So here, iMessage, send an SMS, for example. I can use the notes thing to make a new note. I can airdrop a file. I can compose an email, so it can pass it to Apple Mail.
a lot of Mac stuff there.
Yeah, this is all for Mac. It's a feature
do you have a
system.
demo for just basic SMS? But calling out, I guess you could set it up on a dedicated Mac, Margaret, right? I mean, you could have I've seen FileMaker solutions that text you when things happen. Kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, if you want to send SMS automatically, you would have a contract with one of the companies providing a web API to do that.
Twilio was one of them,
yeah. This here is to have a share button on screen where the user can click the share button and send some container or some text to someone.
Okay.
So
the notes one would be good.
It's just a share items function. You pass in the service you want to use, and you pass in some data. This can be an image, like from a container. It can be an URL or a list of URLs. It can be file paths, and it can be styled text. This, for example, allows you to pass styled text and some file paths and maybe an image to Apple Mail, and you get an email with your attachments. And it works for styled text. So you can have some, bold words, some headlines. And,
all right.
You can also pass in some data like an email subject and an email recipients list. And then the user can click on it and they can share it. I think this is quite a cool thing to quickly send something out of FileMaker.
Yeah.
Let's just say here, I'm sharing something, AirTop. And now I'm sharing this picture, and here in the list should show devices nearby, but okay.
That's really cool. No, I mean, if I get around to ever finishing my personal database, I'll be adding that into it because I use the notes.
So basically, wherever you have a container, you could have a little share button for your Mac users to just share it.
That's awesome.
I'm sorry for having so many Mac features and missing the Windows counterpart.
Well, yeah.
Microsoft doesn't have APIs like that. So XML.
Okay.
FileMaker has built-in JSON function. The plugin has built-in JSON function. But FileMaker doesn't have built-in XML functions. So we got a lot of XML functions.
Okay.
So if you need, you can use our plugin to convert from JSON to XML, or the other way around. So if you need JSON or XML for an API, you can actually do the other side and convert it.
Oh, that makes life a lot easier. You just do all the JSON and then you have the plugin convert it for you.
Yeah. And if you get an XML from an API, like this is our weather API again, but this time it uses the mode XML. So we get this XML. And we can use our XML functions to actually ask for value. So you may know that the JSON function for FileMaker has this get element thing, and you can pass in the path to pick the value, and we do the same for XML. So you can ask for node, let's see, current. So current is as a root here. Then we look for temperature. There's temperature, and then we go and take the value here, and then we get back this text here. So you can just pick values out of an XML if you know the path to the XML.
Allows you to pick an API that has the stuff that you're actually looking for. Because Ken was mentioning earlier that he would need an API that does sealing and stuff like that, but there's no guarantee it talks in JSON. So if it does XML, you can swap.
Yeah. Just get the XML, convert to JSON if you like, and use the JSON functions. Okay, then let's talk about making a QR code for your contact card.
Okay.
So you may know this vCard standard, where you can put in your phone number, your address, your cell phone number, your address, your website. And this is basically just a text file with I think Windows line ending and file extension for CF
Okay.
or so.
So you can make a 2D barcode with this stuff?
So yeah, we can just assemble this text, and you can just take this text, write it to a text file with the right file extension, and someone can just double click it and import it into the address book.
Really?
So
Okay.
it's very convenient. So some people even put it on their emails, so you just get everything with the email as an attachment. Or you can make it downloadable for, like, if you have a conference and you see all the list of, you see the list of attendees, you could just click them, get the file, double click it, and add it to your contacts.
So you can put that on a barcode? You can put that on a two-dimensional barcode?
Yeah, we do that. So first we assemble all the things, and then we use our barcode function here. And we have several barcode functions, and we have one which takes the input data as JSON, so you can set a lot of options. And so we ask here for a QR code. We put in our text. We put in scale, so we get here 4 pixels per dot.
Okay.
And option 4 is the ECC level. So we get a high ECC level, and we could put a logo on top of here, and it wouldn't break the QR code.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. So I hate to say this to you, and that's really educational, but do you have a sample file where this is already working and I don't have to kill myself to do this?
Oh, good question.
Because I'm very lazy and I want to have this as a drag and drop.
We have this advent calendar sample file. There's the script. So
okay. So
here you go.
Okay. So then.
All
right. So can you generate it? And I'm going to hold it up to the screen, and some of us here are going to whip out our phones. All right. Don't move. Freeze. Home is, so go back to your data. Let's see what you have. Ben, I have the home phone number is 1 and then 234. Is there a home phone number here? Okay, I have office is 234-5. Okay, that worked.
Yeah. Let's take a look on the, where does it pick the values? So it goes to a different
Main Street 18, San Jose. That's accurate. Birthday. Yeah, okay. If you put your birthday on your card, please don't put your birthday on the card, everyone. The bad guys will use that to sell your identity. Or I will use it to sell your identity and then drain your piggy bank and then buy a new helicopter.
But all that aside, it made the contact card. It's cool.
No, it's in here. I got it. I totally have it. This is great.
Okay.
Wow, that was
so on the options for the QR code,
Yes.
this is a JSON version, so it has a few more options. Like you can ask for different things. You can ask for white space or border width. You can have some output options, which should be on the list further down. You can pick the color you like. There are some barcode specific options. Yeah, dot size, text, you can make transparent barcodes if you want. Like you can have all this white space or the black space be transparent, so you can compose it on a different layout. Like if
back
you
up. Well, where's with the photo in the front? Well, how can you put a photo in the middle of it and not boo-boo the barcode? I don't understand that. I mean, I've seen people do that, and I was like, what the hell? So if you put a picture in the middle,
this is the ECC level.
Error corrections. That's error correction. Okay.
Yeah. And I think with level 4, something like 40% of the barcode can be missing.
Wow.
Any 40%. So you can just put a logo in the middle.
Or you put your picture on there. Put the monkey on there, little monkey's face on there, and then run it again. Wow. Wow.
Let's try. Let's see. We have a picture here.
All right.
Now we have
this. Can you stick it on the thingy with the thingy?
There's it here in file container. Huh? Is it in the file? Yeah, file container. So let's go on the bottom and say.
So Margaret, the error correction is redundant enough to allow for that. That's like crazy.
Let's see. I go to the documentation. Let's compose. Where is it? Yeah, compose. Can put one picture on another. Key picture. Oh, I need to specify where it goes. Cell center west. Center is 5. 5, and I need an operator as 1, just over. Now I need the picture, so set variable. You see the plugin is already complaining. I don't have this variable defined.
Correct. We use that all the time.
The time. Yep.
Image a new from container, and it was what was the name? File?
It was file something.
Gifty? No. I just pick one and
Okay.
fix it here. Let's take a look. This is file from the files table. Okay. Okay, we have a files table for all the files. Files, file. So we have a picture. We post it. Oh, yeah. Let's just run and see if something happens. No, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, this is a big deal, Margaret, because
Time
it's
to debug.
it's one of those things that there's only so many hours in a day, but doing this on a business card makes a lot
No,
of
this is
sense.
insane. When I was at like that
I got
one
a picture.
book selling,
Did they have people with a business
okay.
they were trying
barcodes?
to do barcodes, but they weren't doing it very successfully. But it was a huge. All of the authors were trying to have barcodes, so you could directly go to their newsletter and website.
Well, of course you could do that, right? So you just
Let's
have to
go
figure
back to
out
the
what you wanted to
documentation.
trigger. Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
let's see, 5.1.
Take your time,
loaded it.
Christian. This is important. We all need this. Anyone else care about this? Maybe it's just me.
I think
Like,
so.
It is Friday.
This should work. I'm not sure why it doesn't work.
Because this is.
Yeah, we did this first for Switzerland. And we put it
Ah,
on
okay.
so
We'll just
copy, paste.
so you already have a sample file. There you
Yeah,
go.
it's for Switzerland where they put this barcode on their invoices, so people with the online banking app can just scan it and pay it directly. So
I wonder if
yeah,
I
it's
wonder
like
if
here in Germany we have this barcodes where you put in your bank account number and the amount, and then I can just scan it with my online banking app and send the money.
Ken is like, I've used QR code services in the past, but to be able to do it in FileMaker would be even better.
yeah, because we control our own destiny. You don't have to pay someone. Most people say, hey, it's a feature we can put our database on our service and it's another $20 a month. Like that's like we have the power of our own fingertips with MonkeyBread. We have MonkeyBread power. We can do this ourselves.
Sample file is, if you go back to this list I had earlier, to the URL in the chat, you can find the sample file there.
Okay.
As a download. So we have here the possibilities to add entries to the calendar app on your Mac.
Yeah,
Or
but
if
couldn't you
the
do
app
that
is-
with CalDAV too and just make it open-ended? Probably.
Yeah, technically we can also just write a CalDAV file. It's also just a text file. You can figure it out if you like what the format is. Our case here, we just put it on the calendar on your Mac. So we just create a new calendar event, fill in the data we like, and then save it. And this is using the calendar API. If you write a new script, please move to the events API, which has some more options and it's a newer one. So, but in general, if you like, you can have make an appointment in your FileMaker database, and then you have a button to move it over to the calendar database, and then you have all your appointments, not just in FileMaker, but also in the calendar database.
Ah, okay.
When you do that, you should then absolutely save the external identifier. So when you have an event, you created it, you get the local identifier, which puts it in your calendar.
Okay.
And then it's synchronized to the server and gets an external identifier. And this external identifier is a little bit more permanent. So
Okay.
if you later want to delete this from FileMaker, you may need the external one to actually find it.
This is pretty good stuff today, Margaret.
I've learned a lot.
Well, that's what
Okay.
it's like, an ultimate toolbox. You got to like kind of half-assed pathetic toolbox, and you get the super snap-on deluxe $10,000 toolbox, which is what this is, but it's not 10, it's $1.50 per user per month. It's cheap, inexpensive. I'm not allowed to say cheap, inexpensive.
And then here is another thing, user notifications, which is now built into FileMaker actually. But we still have it in the plugin, and we have a few more options. So
Oh, I'm sure.
if you like, you can still use it with a plugin. We have functions for Mac and iOS, as well as functions for Windows.
Does Windows notification work out of FileMaker, or is it Mac only? Do you know?
The built-in one, I'm not sure.
Hey, neither am I. I don't know. I haven't. They're so late in adding it. It's like, hey, with this Happy Meal we're going to give you a glass of water. People have been asking water for lunch for 100 years, but we're just not giving it to you. It's like,
So with notifications, you can ask the user if they allow it. So we have a request. Where is it? Probably have a function somewhere to ask for permission. And
Okay.
once you got permission, you can set a lot of options on your new notification. So let's see, they can have categories, they can have a badge. So FileMaker gets a number on the icon to show how much work is to be done. You can get a callback, a script trigger for when the user clicked on it. You can put on actions.
Okay.
So badge body, yeah, you can have a script, and you can put a thread identifier, so you can have several notifications get grouped together if they are the same thread.
Okay.
Subtitle, yeah, it can be useful. And now I have the question: can I show it?
Yes.
Let's see. I have to turn off. No, I have to allow notifications. Genau. Turn off the do not disturb. Let's see if we get something. Nothing happens. It calculates the notification and should show it.
Okay, notifications are not popping up over you. Well, we don't see that. Whatever that is not. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
I made a
Okay.
screenshot.
359
There
days
you go.
Christmas. Okay, but
Okay.
that's really cool.
That's really good.
Ken says, I view this, the sample file is really nice. All the stuff on one page and all the scripts are really nicely documented.
Yeah, if you see Stephanie at the Claris Engage conference, you can tell her.
Oh, are you going to go
think
there,
she-
or you're
Yeah,
going to?
we were busy. Yeah.
Okay, but we'll see Stephanie. Okay, great. This is good stuff. Christian Schmidt, you're going to be back next week?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm not sure. Margaret will be here for sure. I'm not sure. I think I have to
Man, I hope I'd be here. I don't know what the stream is doing without me.
And next week, there's a new version of the MBS plugin coming.
Oh,
So one of the days we may
15?
15, yeah. So we may do the version 15 presentation on one of the days.
You really should sync up your year. So it's version 25,
I synced it up to have, the year number, the one digit match the plugin version. So it's 5 on the end.
Okay.
At least that.
Thank you very much, Christian. Today was awesome as always. Thank you everyone for coming. And I will see all of you guys on Monday, and we'll see Christian again on Thursday. So
Awesome stuff. Thanks, guys.